Your Majesty and your delegation, you are most welcome to Uganda. Thank you for agreeing to visit us, paying back the visit I paid long ago to Eswatini when I attended one of the big functions there. And I had the chance to see the Ndorovukazi, the she-elephant, and all the big chiefs. I was very, very happy. In our discussion there, we have covered quite a bit of area. The story is a clear one. The question is whether Africans want prosperity. If you want prosperity, where in my quick learning of in my quick learning of Eswatini, is called Lifa. If you want Lifa, where does it come from? According to our experience as a student movement, in the 1960s, and then as a liberation movement and working with others, we prosperity comes from producing a good or a service and selling it. And what you produce should be assessed economically to make sure that it is the one that will give you the maximum benefits. Now, when you do that, the next thing you need is a market, the buyers buy what you produce. And that's why here in Uganda, we look at the internal market of Uganda of 46 million people now, but we know that that internal market is not enough. That's why we work for the market of the region and the market of Africa. That is for buying. When we aggregate the market, we are making it easier for the wealth creators to create more wealth easily, to expand and grow. Now, the fragmentation of the African market is a big disaster. And I've told these wonderful people here, the Ugandans, that if you want to be like Latin America, you are welcome. Because if you look, Your Majesty, if you look at Latin America has a lot of natural, it has got a lot of forests, Brazil, a lot of water, the Amazon, a lot of minerals, even petroleum in some of the Latin American countries. But you find the countries are in poverty. They are running to the USA to look for the reefer in the USA, the modern reefer, the prosperity, the good house, the medical care, the electricity is in the USA. Yet South America has got a lot of natural resources. So what is the problem? The problem is the way they are organized. Made the mistake of having a fragmented market, and you can't succeed. It's not easy to succeed. Hello, these microphones. You are sabotaging me, don't sabotage His Majesty. On and off, on and off. This is real sabotage now. So the integration of the market is the biggest stimulus for wealth creation, for wealth creators. In the USA, people succeed because they've got a huge market. If you produce a product in New York, it can be sold all the way to California, no border, nothing. It goes, no tax, no internal tax. That's how the prosperity is easy. Now, once we understand that, then the other one is the one of where do we get capital from. If we understand that producing a good or a service is the source of life, then the question is how do we get the capital? That's where these African governments could cooperate. They can invest together. Uganda may not have enough money to build a factory for producing electric buses, but if we combine with the Eswatini, we combine with the South Africa, we combine with the Zimbabwe, and we all it together. We should not have a model of where Japan produces and we buy. It should have a model of where we produce together and we buy what is ours. Your Majesty was talking about the petroleum which we have here. We invited the East African governments, you people, you come and co-invest. Hello, sir. Hello. I'm about to give up. So I invited the East African governments to co-invest in the pipeline, in the refinery. The only thing that Uganda owns with the petroleum companies is the crude oil alone, the crude oil, the natural resource. But otherwise, we invited the East African governments, you come and invest in the refinery. Come and invest in the pipeline, because there's a pipeline going to the ocean. Because it's not common sense to say, I produce, you only buy. You can't say that to a brother, that he should only buy. You. So I'm very happy that you have come here with a big delegation, and the big people are here. I can introduce them to you. Oh, a powerful group here. There is me. Okay. Miri Babaranda, Minister of the Presidency. There's General Tumba Wamala, Minister of Works. There's Dr. Museveni Romonia, Minister of Science and Technology. There is an old man, you have not seen enough old people here. He's about my age, Mr. Francis Mwebesa, Minister of Industry and Trade. There's the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Henry Okello-Oryem. There's the Minister of Veterinary, of cows and goats and pigs and all those. Mr. Ramirama, and the other, oh, there is the Permanent Secretary, Major General Kasula, Permanent Secretary of Agriculture. There's ambassador to South Africa, to all the Bantus there. Eswatini. I think the other ones are smaller people. Oh no, I must introduce even the smaller ones. The Bible said the last will be first and the first will be last. There is Museveni, the scientist, the maker of these vehicles. There is my powerful permanent principal private secretary. There's a big man whom I normally see, but I don't know his name. Chivuna is from Foreign Affairs. The other man is who?
Your Excellency, Commissioner in charge of external trade in the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, and standing in for the Permanent Secretary.
Okay. Then there's a man from South Africa. Eswatini. Kamwisha. Kamwisha means there was a danger he may not have been born, or if he had been born, he could have died. From the name, you can tell his situation. that he is Kamwisha means he's here by luck. luck from God. Let's say the details. Come show Wanyininkai. Wanyininkai. Huh? Shema. So Eswatini no courage. Huh? No level lachi? Working for foreign affairs. Okay. So sit down then. And the other one is who? Irene Virungi. Huh? Or reporter. That's a rumor monger. Reporting all the rumors. The facts. So this is the team I have here. So we are ready. We are always really, from the beginning you were very clear, and that you must have heard that the East African community had broken down. During the time of Idi Amin, they broke it up. But when we came into government, we negotiated with Kenya, with Tanzania, and then later on others joined. We are now 8 countries in the East African community. That one deals with 2 problems. It deals with the issue of the market, like COMESA on a smaller scale, but it also deals with the issue of political integration. We are, since the time of our elders, the time of Mwalimu Nyerere and Obote and Kaunda, we're aiming at forming a government of East Africa. And we have never given up. It is part of our, that's why we are members of the East African community, because it is the only one which aims at the political federation as the last step. We talk of the integrated common market, customs union, monetary union, and eventually a political federation of East Africa. Now, the reason, Your Majesty, why we think that the political federation is very crucial, where possible, is that if you unite the economies through the common market, you may become prosperous, you may get prosperity, you may get economic growth. But there is one issue you don't address. This is the issue of a strong army. How can you have a strong army that can defend us, Africans, from all threats? Because now I think the Africans may be in a big potential danger, because like our American friends and the others, they talk of what they call 4-dimensional superiority. That they want to be superior on land, land forces army. They want to be superior in the air force. They want to be superior at sea, the navy. And they want to be superior in space, on the moon, to have weapons based in space. Now, a country like Uganda will develop and will become prosperous for sure. We are moving, and will become even a rich country because we have the resources, rich and developed. But shall we have enough resources to have a space program to go to the moon and ask the Americans what they are doing there alone? Because from what I hear, only 4 countries have been to the moon. These are USA, Russia, China, and now India. Our relatives, the British, are still here with us. They have not been to the moon. The Germans have not gone. The French have not gone. They are developed, but there is a limit. like His Majesty has got a stronger body. So if I was still a boxer, I would not box with him. They would put heavy weight, and me they would put, I think maybe welterweight or something. Some other classification. So the reason we really want political integration is that Africa must have a center of gravity. Must have, because you can have smaller countries in the world. They are there in Europe. There are smaller countries like Denmark, Switzerland. They are there, Belgium. But these smaller countries have a defender. When they are in danger, there is a head boy who defends them. This is the United States. During the Second World War, all these small countries were overrun by Germany. So who defended them? It was the Russians, actually, and the Americans who had to take on Hitler. So as Africans, who is your head boy here? Who would defend us against people who are based in space? So that's why I want you to pray for us that East Africa becomes a political union, also in addition to the economic integration, because that one it can be a type of India or a China, which can be able to defend the black race, and this is the concept we had with the Mwalimu Nyerere and Mzee Kaunda. We used to discuss with him. Mandela, we didn't get enough time because he was in jail most of the time. But Mzee Kaunda, Mzee Mwalimu Nyerere, Robert Mugabe, we didn't discuss so much because he was also in jail for quite a long time. And when he was in government, we didn't get enough time. We had. So you are most welcome. We are ready to discuss any and everything. Siabong, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Excellency, for the introduction and all the ministers on both countries. We are very happy to be here to see you, Excellency, and we are grateful that you invited me to come over to pay you a visit after many, many years of not seeing each other. The last time we were able to meet was during the Commonwealth, which was held 2 years ago, where we also were able to renew our friendship. I am happy that today we are coming here with the greetings from Her Majesty, the Queen Mother, the government, and all the people of Eswatini, to yourself, the First Ladies, and the government, and all the people of Uganda. We are here to really strengthen our cooperation, and I believe as African countries, members of many international organizations, including the African Union, we have to know each other, we have to understand each other, and the only way we can do this is by making such visits like this one. And what we are doing is that we are hoping that going forward, the two countries can establish some ways and means of communication on an annual basis, because the meeting on once in a while, then in between you forget almost everything that we have agreed. I think we need to look at that, and I think for all African countries to make progress in a lot of things, as we are confronted by many, many challenges, including climate change, poverty, job creation, health issues, education, getting the transfer of technology into our countries. We need to work together, as you are saying, Your Excellency, that if we work together, we partner together, there's a lot we can do. When we move together, we can move a long way. But if one country moves on its own, it cannot go too far. So it is absolutely critical that we establish structures to see how our two countries can cooperate in a lot of areas and so on. You rightly touched upon that in Africa we have a lot to offer to the world, and unfortunately, with all this natural resource, which is our God-given products, we are unable to produce it properly. But with the more understanding and more educated of Africans, now we understand that let's make use of these natural resources to our advantage. For a long time, most of these resources are exploited by companies from beyond our continent and so on. But now that we have mastered a lot of technology and a lot of expertise, I believe as Africans, if there is an expertise here in Uganda, which we do not have in Eswatini, or likewise, if we have expertise in Eswatini and there is none in Uganda, we should share those kind of ideas, find Africans to find the African solutions. And I think going in that way, it will help us as African countries to make a better lifestyle within our continent. Africa is still developing, and it's still at the pace of developing its economies, a lot of things, infrastructure, and so on. And sometimes, as Africans, we struggle, in particular when you want to set up any infrastructural project in terms of funding. Getting funds can always come on a small scale. Anything that comes on a small scale, don't go too far. You find that you spend years and years doing a particular project, which others end up saying, look, it has taken so many years. And I don't think it is in the interest of anyone to take forever to actually do a project. But because of the lack of funds and so on, we find ourselves that we are spending a lot of time struggling. And the challenge is, I see that all African countries, they like to struggle alone. I always say those who were here before us, when the colonialists were here, and you told us, you yourself, Excellency, you were part of those group who fought colonialists. You were united, and you could have not achieved a lot if you were not united. Regardless that you didn't have any resources, there was nothing, no equipment, but the most important thing was the solidarity, to stand together. I think this time in Africa, we've all now gained our independence, but this is political independence. Now what we need economical independence. And to achieve this, it is very important that we should work together. And we appreciate the offer that you have done especially when you are offering your neighboring countries, when yourself you have discovered some crude oil in this country, which is one of the precious things that God can give a country. To invite us to say that we want to expand the program. We don't just want to get the oil on the ground and then export it, but we want to process, building also a refinery. And the fact that you are also invite other African countries to say if they can participate, because the infrastructure of a refinery is very costly. But if it is done properly, the gains from there are also very viable. And I'm talking because I have visited places where I've seen refineries which on an annual basis, they are making a turnover of about 4 trillion US dollars. And you can imagine if we can set up a refinery which can be able to produce 4 trillion US dollars, that it means to the GDP of Africa, we are adding a lot of improvement. But these things can only work if we come together and we work together. So the thing is that we need to promote business people, entrepreneurship from both sides, from Uganda, from Eswatini, the government officials, to exchange visits, exchange a lot of information, to see what kind of investment we can exchange. Before we came here, before we came to sit down, Your Excellency, you showed us some of the products which Uganda is able to produce. And it's interesting because for a long time we've always gone beyond our continent to look for some of these products, which one of them is just right there in front of us, which is electrical bus. The whole world nowadays is going green, and everyone is saying, let us not pollute the world, the places where we are. So when Uganda has now developed an electric bus, and we know how many people within Africa are still in use of buses and all of that stuff. Now we see them in other places, in Europe, in Asia, in the Middle East, America, and so on. But we don't see them a lot within our continent. And so I think it is important that let us collaborate in these structures. Now that you have developed the system of how to construct an electrical bus, let us share that information and let us also partner. You can be the producer here, and then for looking for markets, going down to the south, you can locate yourself as Eswatini becomes the location for distribution center, start as a starting point, because one has to first introduce a product to the market so that the market can really appreciate that product. And once you discover that the market is actually in appreciation of the product, then we can look at the next step of why don't you do an assembly. You start off from here and then you do an assembly plant, which will be mainly for the Southern African states, the SADC region, and so on. So that kind of cooperation we really need to build together. And we are hopeful that during our stay here, we will be able to meet as many people from here in Uganda, and to see what kind of things we need to do together, and how can we promote trade more effectively amongst our people. And also because countries have a lot of history to showcase. Here in Uganda, you have the Nile. I also, when I was coming this side, I noticed that you have the mountain where there is a snow, people can go skiing, and all of that stuff. Now, if there are places like this to promote tourists, that if we promote tourists to come from my country, from Eswatini, these are the opportunities which you'll be able to see when you visit Uganda. And even look at ways of how to, if tourists are coming, what kind of transportation? Why don't we open up routes between the two countries, from Eswatini to Kampala? We have some routes, airlines which will fly in and out, which will bring in a lot of tourists, and including cargo as well, because cargo has also a lot of place to as Africans. You find culture in Eswatini, which is for Emaswati. You also find culture here in Uganda. Not so long ago, we received one of the kings from Uganda who pay us a visit, and they were showing us their culture and so on, as to how they are taking care of the culture here in Uganda. And I think we need to build on that, why don't we have like a carnival? One time we have a carnival in Uganda. The next time we go to Eswatini, we have a carnival. We bring all our societies together. They come together, they perform. And this will not just support our locals, but it has also a potential of attracting tourists from all over the world, as our aim is to not just attract local tourists or African tourists alone, but go beyond our continent, so that when they come here, because tourists are more like investors, and so we wish to promote, they always carry, we are hopeful and they always carry, we are hopeful and confident that they will do a good job, that will always be remembered, that will always be remembered, even going forward. So let us do more of these activities, work together, support one another. And the reason why we are here is to give support to the government. Since we arrive in this beautiful city, I've noticed the level of development, that since I was last here, there's a lot of development which has happened. Obviously, we congratulate His Excellency, which has happened. Obviously, we congratulate His Excellency. The government and the people of this country for being together, united, because anything that happens in a country, it's all because all of them are united, working together. And we want to say that we really appreciate this kind of development, and of course our program will also allow us to see more and more things. Some of the things which we are seeing here, we'll be able to see them live, unlike seeing them in a picture, and so that we can get also more and more information. And we also take this opportunity. Unfortunately, I was unable to attend the summit of the non-aligned, and as well as the group 77 plus China. I was unable, but the Prime Minister and together with the Minister, they were here to represent the Kingdom. Since I was not here personally, I wish to congratulate you as the chairman of both of these organizations. I am sure with your wise leadership, you will guide these very, very important organizations to greater heights, Excellency. And before I conclude my remarks, you also introduced the delegation, all the ministers, but I'm gonna do it slightly different from what you've done, Excellency, because from where I am unable to see exactly who's sitting where. So what I will do, because there is the microphone in front of them, I will give them all the floor now to introduce themselves, then I will conclude my remarks, Excellency. Thank you very much.
The Foreign Minister of the Kingdom of Eswatini.
Right, Excellency, I am Prince Talo, the Principal Secretary for Defense in Eswatini. Right, no part. I'm Prince Lindani, Member of Parliament. No part. No part. I'm Princess Busani, also Chief at Mapuwini, Royal Resident. No part. We know part. I'm Ingo Simaloi, one of which we know part. Your Excellency, I'm Chief of Government, I'm the Chief Officer in the King's Office. Your Excellency.
Your Excellency, I am Ngoba Umano, Minister of Commerce, Industry and Trade.
Your Excellency, I'm Mahlaba Mamba, High Commissioner in the Republic of Uganda, but based in Addis Ababa. You understand?
Your Excellency, I'm Mogens Melane, Private Secretary to His Majesty. Your Excellency.
Your Excellency, I'm Kandlela Mdluli, Director of Royal Protocol, King's Office. Your Excellency. Your Excellency, I'm Sandile Kumalo. I am His Majesty's Praise Singer and also His Majesty's Royal Archivist. Your Excellency.
Your Excellency, my name is Alphonse Nomalo. I am the government spokesperson of the Kingdom of Eswatini.
Your Excellency, I'm called Bamwine Kwilino. I'm the Honorary Consul of the Kingdom of Eswatini in Uganda.
Your Excellency, my name is Ladi Moses. I'm the Chief Executive of the Investment Promotion Agency in Eswatini.
Your Excellency, my name is Andile Dlamini. I am the Coordinator for International Cooperation at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Your Excellency, my name is Zoela Madonsela, Africa Desk Officer at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Bayethe wena mphakathi, Your Excellency, I am Lungile Mamba from the Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Trade, Legal Trade Officer. Bayethe wena mphakathi, Your Excellency.
So, Excellency, it concludes all those who are here with me. We didn't bring everyone here, others are in the hotel, but we, as you can see, we came with a lot of Maswati because our intention is to come for us. I thank you, Excellency. Siyabonga.
Thank you so much. I think my Eswatini is improving now. Because actually I was not thinking quickly. It is interesting, the Lifa. I don't know how you, Eswatini, you turned it upside down. Because here, I remember now, Ifa means famine. In our language here, Ifa means famine. When there's so much hunger, it's called Ifa. So I can see the Swatini say opposite of famine now is prosperity.
Absolutely.
Then the Bayete, now I can see that it is actually connected because as I say, ba, to be, ba, okuba is to be. So in our language here, we politically, on the political rallies, you say, aveo, it is the same. The Bayete, aveo, it's the same. So I am improving my Eswatini. If I think now let's go to Kuria. Kuria. In the Kuria, we are not going to make speeches. We shall just Kuria and just enjoy ourselves and listen to the music.
Right.
Siyabonga.
Siyabonga. Asante.
Thank you.
President of the Republic of Uganda, His Majesty King Mwati III of the Kingdom of Eswatini. With your permission, Your Excellency, permit me, I am Okello Oryem, I'm the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, in charge of international relations of the Republic of Uganda. Permit me here to read the communique. On the occasion of the state visit of His Majesty King Mwati III, King of the Kingdom of Eswatini, to the Republic of Uganda from the 14th to the 16th of August 2024. At the invitation of His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, His Majesty King Mwati III of the Kingdom of Eswatini undertook a state visit to Uganda from the 14th to the 16th of August 2024, accompanied by Ishontaki Make Lamashwamama, Senator Felite Shakatu, Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Her Royal Highness Princess Lindiwe, Honorable Monkoba Komalo, Minister of Commerce and Industry and Trade, and a high-level delegation. His Majesty King Eswatini was received by His Excellency President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni at the the VVIP airport in Entebbe. The two heads of states renewed their historical, friendly, and diplomatic relations and expressed satisfaction with the long-standing bilateral relations and unwavering cooperation that exists between our two brotherly countries. The heads of states reaffirmed the commitment to continue advancing and strengthening this relationship between the two countries and their people. The two heads of states had an opportunity to discuss issues of mutual interest in areas of agriculture, transport, mining, trade, investment, science and technology, and strengthening our bilateral relations. In transport and infrastructure, the two heads of states called upon the two sides to expedite the cooperation process regarding creation of a hub by the Kingdom of Eswatini for marketing Motors Corporation, Kayola EVS, electric buses to the SADC region using the advantage of the Maputo Harbour area. The Mining Minister, His Majesty King Mwati indicated the mining activities in the Kingdom of Eswatini and further expressed interest in benefiting Uganda's experience in large-scale production, artisanal and small-scale mining operations, including ores and copper, amongst others. In the agricultural sector, both parties agreed to promote cooperation between organizations and businesses, entities, Uganda and the Kingdom of Eswatini, operating in the field of agriculture, specifically supporting the areas of mechanization of agricultural works, seeds production, phytosanitary and veterinary control, animal husbandry, technology, and science activities. The two heads of states preside over the signing of the following. The two heads of states are to preside over the following memoranda of understandings and agreement. The first one is the Memorandum of the General Cooperation Agreement on the establishment of a Joint Permanent Commission of Cooperation, JPC. The second memorandum is MOU on cooperation in the agricultural field. The two heads of states exchange views on regional peace and security issues. They reaffirmed their commitment to working together in pursuit of sustainable peace, stability, and economic development on the continent. The two heads of states underscored the importance of peace and security in the region, integration agenda, and reiterated their commitment to continue working together on matters affecting peace and security within the region. Both parties noted with satisfaction the converging positions regarding relevant issues of international agenda. They reiterated their commitment to multilateral systems and to working together in the framework of the United Nations and other international bodies, including non-aligned movements, the G77 and China, to achieve the vision outlined in the United Nations Charter. His Majesty King Mwati III reiterated congratulatory remarks to His Excellency President Museveni for the AU decision to accord to Uganda regarding hosting the humanitarian agencies. His Majesty King Mwati III of the Kingdom of Eswatini expresses appreciation to His Excellency President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni of Uganda for the warm reception and hospitality accorded to him and the delegation of the Kingdom of Eswatini during the visit. His Majesty King Eswatini III extended an invitation to His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni to pay a state visit to Uganda, to the Kingdom of Eswatini at a date mutually agreed upon and communicated through diplomatic channels. Done in Entebbe, Uganda, this 14th day of August 2024. This ends the end of the communique. May I take this opportunity to invite the relevant ministers. First, the ministers who will be responsible for signing the MOU on the General Cooperation Agreement on the establishment of a joint permanent commission of corporations. It's me? Oh, and the next one? Okay. Okay. May I invite the Minister of State for Agriculture, or the Minister of Uganda, and his counterpart on Eswatini, Honorable File Shakantu, or the Minister, to sign the agreement of Government of the Republic of Uganda on cooperation in the fields of agriculture. Thank you. Your Excellencies, this marks the end of the programs here. Thank you very much.
Your Majesty, what does Chakantu mean? Chakantu?
It's the same name, Excellency.
There's no meaning, the Kantu.
It's more like any other of the surnames here.
No meaning, because Kantu, in our language here would mean a small person. Small, like in size.
But this one is not small.
Okay. Chakantu. Then there is Ndiwe. Ndiwe.
Lindiwe.
Lindiwe.
Yes. Yeah, it means look after.
Okay.
In English.
Because you see, I spoke with Mzee Mugabe, and I said, Mzee, what does your name mean? He says, no, it's just a name. I said, but Because in our language here, kugaba means to give.
Right.
So Mugabe is the one who is giving. But they didn't know. He thought it was just a name. I said, but when I challenged him, in Shona, there is some word which what do you call to give in Eswatini? To give.
Kupa.
That's exactly like here.
Oh, okay.
Kuha.
Kuha.
Kuha is to give.
Okay.
But if you are the one giving me, you wampa.
Wangipa.
Wampa.
We will say wangipa.
So kuha is the general to give.
Absolutely.
But to give me yampa. Actually, you have got the names like Ampere, Ampaire, God, meaning God. God has given me.
I see.
Okay, thanks. So sorry to divert you. All the men like those diversions.
It's okay. Thank you.